Commissioner Davis, disregard any message that just popped up. Just cancel that out, please.
Frank, do you still want me to do a mock roll call?
One moment, Tom.
Hey, Eric, how are you?
Eric, how are you? Excuse me.
We're missing Commissioner Ottman. Yep, there she goes. All right, let's start this off. Good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to the City Commission virtual meeting. Today is Tuesday, February the 9th, 2021. It is 7 o'clock. Call the roll, please.
Mayor James.
Here.
Vice Mayor Salvino.
Here. Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Commissioner Llewellyn.
Here.
Commissioner Odman. I see you. City Manager Garcia. And I see you. City Attorney Hansbrough.
Yeah.
Than't you all.
Someone isn't muted.
What?
You hear me? According to sources, the former president.
What did they say?
Rodriguez. And Linda. Okay. I'm going to mute all, and then I'm going to mute all, so because I can't find out who it is. All right. Can we please have a moment of silence? And can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States
of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God,
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Presentations and special event approvals. We have an introduction of the new Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation by our Director of Parks and Recreation, Eric Brown. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Commission, City Manager, City Attorney, Eric Brown, Parks and Recreation Director. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to most and all. We call her Casey Warren, I'm sorry. She's our new Assistant Parks and Recreation Director. Cassie, I'm sorry, comes from Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota. She studied at the University of Minnesota, where she began actually her recreation career in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area as a recreation aide. Later on, she transformed herself down to the city of she transferred down to Orlando, came to Florida and started working in Parks and Recreation there. Few years later, she came down to South Florida where she earned her master's degree in sports management. And then she migrated on down a little north to Deerfield Beach Parks and Recreation, where she worked her way through the ranks and became the assistant director for Deerfield Beach. And now she's with the city of Dania Beach, where she has brought her talents a little south, brought her talents south to Dania Beach. And we're looking forward to her expertise. She's a Parks and Rec professional. She belongs to both of the Parks and Recreation Associations, the FRPA and the NRPA. And she brings a ton of talent and a ton of knowledge to our department. And we're so happy and so glad to have her on board with us.
Well, welcome, Cassie. I'll let you unmute. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I'm unmuted. Hello, good evening, Mayor,
Welcome.
Vice Mayor, City Commissioners. I'm very excited about this opportunity. I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do for the City of Dania Beach and how I can help grow our Parks and Recreation Department. And I am here for anything that you all may need along the way as well. I'm looking forward to learning from Eric on my first year here, seeing how I can help. And working with manager and Ken Bino as well. Do you have anything else? But thank you again.
Thank you. Welcome.
And welcome. The Youth Advisory Board presentation, the Youth Advisory Council, I'm sorry, presentation from Parks and Recreation. I'm super excited about it. Is that from you, Eric? Or
Yes, again, the City of Dania Beach Youth Advisory Council was established, guys, to allow our students to actually serve as an advocate of our youth in the City of Dania Beach. With further notice, I don't want to steal their thunder. We have two great youth that will actually give you guys an overview of what they've been doing and what they want to see done in the City of Dania Beach, along with the Parks Department helping them out. We have Ms. Holmes and Ms. Anderson who will actually speak now. She's muted.
can you unmute yourself?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. My name is Kyla Holmes. I am 13 years old and I have been a resident of Dania Beach since I can remember. It is an honor always for my community through the Youth Advisory Council platform. My goal here is to bring a youth perspective in the planning and implementation on meaningful projects within our city. Projects like the C.W. Thomas Park Solar Project, the Oasis Project that is improving the physical qualities of our neighborhoods, a balloon release ban as previously mentioned by Commissioner Llewellyn, and the Ocean Park Revitalization Project. I love the beach and would really like to see more youth out on the sand. Over the past 2 weeks, I have surveyed the youth within my community on what would make our beach a better place. The top 3 things were: 1, recycling bins. We have trash cans, which is great, but we like to have the option to recycle. We will be partnering with the Parks and Recreation Department to find areas on the beach to place new recycling bins. Our generation is more eco-friendly than we're made out to. 2, bottle filling water fountains. Due to COVID, no one is using the mouth water fountains anymore, and we all know how hard it is to fill up a water bottle using one of those fountains. Thousands of plastic bottles are thrown away every day, and some, unfortunately, end up in the ocean where they are mistaken as food by birds and fish. By creating the easy access to refilling reusable water bottles at drinking fountains, reduce the number of plastic containers thrown in the bin and ending up in landfill. 3, a cost-effective food or snack vendor. I know that the Park and Recreation Department hosts a snack spot on Monday and Wednesdays, and that there is an open proposal for the Dania Beach Grill in which a proposition was brought up by Commissioner Oddman at the January 26th Commission meeting for a food truck vendor. But we ask that you keep the youth in mind when you are making your decisions. Support the youth by approving vendors that offer snack and food items that appeal and cater to the youth's budget and taste buds. And we are open to the idea of a Dania Beach Youth Day or hours, a day or time when there are park staff members out on the sand with volleyballs or frisbees. Just an hour or 2, once a week would be a great start. We have already started working with members of the Park and Recreation Department in making this happen. Thank you for your time. I will now pass it on to my youth advisory colleague, Kanaya Anderson. Thank you, Tyler.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. I would like to begin with thanking you for taking the time to have me here today. My name is Kanaya Anderson, and I'm a 16-year-old high school student. As a citizen of this community that has lived here my whole life, this is all I know. My great-grandmother has lived in Dania Beach since 1955, so that means she has lived here for just about 66 years. For that lifetime she has been here, she has been left in the dark, like many of our other patrons. Since COVID-19, everything has been online. Therefore, there has been less human interactions. To keep our patrons well informed, we have our local website. But the issue with that is, how are we as a whole supposed to keep ourselves well aware if the website is not as up to date as it should be and is very unorganized, which makes it hard to use? Recently, we had a commission meeting on January 26th, and only a handful of people knew about this meeting. As a member of the Youth Advisory Council, I was not aware of this meeting, which leads into my next topic, leadership. Being in this group, I realized I wanted to follow into your footsteps, which makes you the role model of myself and my peers. As a member of this group, our jobs are to be representation of the youth, which comes to my next question. Is there any way that we can have more youth involvement? As my peer Kyla has briefly spoken about the Youth Day at the Beach, this day will give us as the youth an opportunity to show you that we can step up and be leaders. And it can also be a day of fun and enjoyment. Now, before my time is up, I would just like to say this. For the longest, all I've heard was the youth is the future. Well, what is the future if the youth is left in the dark? Thank you for your time.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love it. I think she got us together a couple of times on that, telling us they didn't know about the meetings and the days. And you know what? Your voices are needed, because especially when you bring up the ideas about having snacks on these food trucks that are available and able to be purchased with the funds that you all may have versus, you know, just your regular person that may have a job. Understand having an allowance and trying to choose it, going to the corner store and get some chips versus trying to, you know, be able to participate in the things that we're providing is essential. So thank you, Eric and staff, TJ and Kayla and everyone else who's involved in this. And it's so refreshing to see some of our youth come aboard and try to see what we are doing and be involved in that. I would like to have that day possible. How, I don't know the logistics of it, but I want to learn more about it. I want something tangible that you all can bring back to this commission that can be approved. Your name could be etched in history. You're probably the first of this to make this happen. Very special group of small group of students that I've met a time or two, and I was thinking that each of us could possibly have one of those youth, and they can kind of shadow us, or we can mentor them, or you know, I don't know what to really call it, but it was just a thought in mind that I had. I think they would gain a lot more access and knowledge to what it is to be in our shoes, and how to really implement and induce change. Because I think that all of us have a lot of really good ideas, and we can really mold or mentor these youth. I just love it. I could talk all day. I love it. I don't know if anyone else has anything to say.
Can I put in real quick?
Yes.
Gosh, both of you were just so impressive. And I felt like with some of your ideas that you were saying and talking about the website, which I think many of us share that same frustration, I just wanted to say, yes, I approve. Do we have consensus for this? You're really right on with your thoughts and your environmental leanings that you were discussing with the water bottles. I mean, right on. That's exactly something that we need. So there were so many points that you made that were just well laid out and correct. You were correct. So with what Mayor James said, I love that idea. I would love to spend some time, and I don't know if it would be shadowing for the day or whatever, but something so that you get a little taste of what this job is like, what municipal government is like, and if it's something that you want to pursue in the future, you could really get a good idea as to what it is like and what the job entails, and what the preparation is beyond just what you see every other Tuesday night on the screen, what we do to prepare for those meetings. I think could be interesting to look at some of the issues that we deal with. So I would love to do something like that. And Eric, if that's something we could ever set up, I would definitely be game. So it was wonderful meeting and hearing both of you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that I see you, Commissioner Wellen, but I think that what can happen is maybe they can go back and choose and see what they want to do and bring us back ideas for our approval. I think that would be pretty neat to have an item from them on the agenda to be approved by us. I'm so excited about that. Commissioner Llewellyn?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to compliment the young ladies for getting up and speaking and doing such a wonderful job and being very prepared. It's not easy to do public speaking, and I wanted to make sure that we acknowledge that as well. It's especially when you're young. So, but I just wanted to also thank you both for that, and you did a great job.
Okay, anyone else? Commissioner Davis, you're muted, so you have to unmute yourself. There you go.
I just want to say I am truly thrilled to hear from you. Both of you ladies, you spoke very well. I have a program for girls. I love to see young people in leadership speaking their mind and speaking so articulately the way you both have done this evening. So I just wanted to compliment you and thank you for that. I hope that we can expand the leadership program. We need more leadership programs so that we can hear from more people like you. I'm still a lifelong learner and a teacher, so I just completed an immersion project where I had to immerse myself into another culture in order to learn more about it. So if you were interested in becoming a politician, I would love to have some sort of immersion project where we actually do go through a whole process with the youth so that you can see it from the beginning to the end. But I want to thank Parks and Rec, I want to thank Eric, and I want to thank the young ladies for coming out and speaking so eloquently this evening.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Eric, you want to add anything else?
No,
I'll just say thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Vice Mayor.
I just want to say thank you because I didn't want to be left out. That's all. The lone guy sitting here in the commission, you know.
Go ahead, Eric.
Mayor, I'm just super proud of those young ladies, and we also had a young man that couldn't make it today, so we'll reschedule him. And I'm excited about staff, Anthony and Kayla, for taking this project on and meeting with these guys on a regular basis. So we look forward to our next beach project. We look forward to our Earth Day project. We got something exciting. I love exciting things. So I've already given them a task to do something very exciting for our Earth Day that's coming up, where we're going to educate our young people, and we'll have some of our teens to actually take that on. So we're excited. We're excited to be in the city of Dania Beach, and I want to stop so you guys can continue your meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
We would like to speak really quick.
Oh, go ahead.
So we wanted to organize a beach cleanup on Earth Day, which is April 22nd. We saw as if, excuse me?
When is it? Okay.
April 22nd.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
We feel as if the beach is not as up to par and clean as it should be for the people and the animals that live there, call it their home. So we would like to organize a beach cleanup to get all the trash and litter off the beach.
Yes.
Okay, Eric, can you have them get with the two clubs that host beach cleanups? I think that would be, what are their names? I can't think of them at this moment.
The one by Ocean.
Yeah.
Pat is the first name of the woman who.
Catherine Uden. I know
Yep.
she did one. Surfriders Foundation.
David Simonetti also does one.
Who?
David Simonetti. Yeah.
Yes. We'll get you the information if y'all could send Eric the information, and they can collaborate with them, because I know that they have a lot of experience and they can kind of tell you what to expect and what to bring and the materials and so forth and so on. So
yep, we have.
Thank you.
You.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, we have a proclamation. If I can get to it.
Mayor, I have a special event that I need to present real quick to you all, if I may.
I thought it was going to just be a FYI, and
Yeah,
then
it's an FYI.
Okay.
Yes, real quick. So we have a special event application that has gone through the process of all the department directors, including BSO. It's going to be a food giveaway that Mr. Sharon Sharabi is going to be hosting. via a non-for-profit organization. And this is going to take place every Wednesday, commencing tomorrow, February the 10th, and it's going to go through Wednesday, July the 7th. And it's going to take place at 2750 Griffin Road, and it's going to be approximately 50 to 100 boxes. And this is just to make you aware. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Eating Disorders Awareness Week. I have a proclamation I am happy to read to you all. It reads from the Office of the Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, whereas eating disorders affect 28.8 million Americans, or 9% of the US population during their lifetime, and whereas eating disorders include the specific disorders of anorexia, bulimia, binge eating, restrictive food intake disorder, and other specified feeding or eating disorders are complex, biologically based illnesses, and whereas eating disorders are associated with serious physical health consequences, including irregular heartbeats, heart disease and heart failure, kidney failure, osteoporosis, gastric rupture, tooth decay, obesity, gallbladder disease, diabetes, and death. And whereas at least once every 52 minutes, someone dies, wow, as a direct result of an eating disorder, resulting in 10,200 deaths per year, and anorexia has the second highest mortality rate among all psychiatric illnesses. And whereas eating disorders know no boundaries with respect to genders, gender identity, ages, races, ethnicities, body shapes, and weights, abilities, sexual orientations, and socioeconomic statuses. And whereas eating disorders have a high prevalence among active military service members and veterans. And whereas a yearly economic cost of eating disorders is $64.7 billion, with an additional loss of well-being per year of $326.5 billion. And whereas with early detection and intervention, full recovery from an eating disorder is possible. And whereas the Alliance for Eating Disorders Awareness, a 501c3 nonprofit organization, is a leading national eating disorders organization headquartered in the state of Florida, dedicated to the outreach, education, support, and early intervention for all eating disorders. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission, I, Tamara James, Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim the week of February 27, 2021 through February 28, 2021 as Eating Disorders Awareness. February 26, 2021 to February 28, 2021 as Not One More Weekend. Thank you all for that. I did not receive any citizens' comments forms, but if there is anyone that currently is on the call that would like to address the commission, please raise your hand via the tool on your participants dialogue. Seeing as I see no one, we'll move right along. Public safety reports. Captain Marks, are you there?
I'm here.
There you go.
Everybody see me? I know my phone's unmuted.
Yeah, you're finally not in the car.
Last week too. Set up some office space. Just a reminder, tomorrow, Wednesday, February 10th, is our food giveaway with the Miami Dolphins Foundation. We got 1,000 meals to distribute. It's going to drive through, and it's at Island Joe's at 4201 Ravenswood Road. So please come out if you can. Since the last meeting, we have responded to 2 aggravated assaults, 1 aggravated battery, 8 auto thefts, which were mostly rentals, overdue rentals, and key fob vehicles. We had 1 burglary business, 5 burglary residences, which consisted of property being stolen from open gates and yards, We had 2 robberies, 1 sexual assault. We had 16 thefts and 4 shoplifting calls. Within the past 2 weeks, we saw a decrease of 2 business burglaries as compared to the 2 weeks prior. We arrested a subject for theft after they entered a business, grabbed an employee's purse from a chair located behind the counter, and fled. One of our deputies was able to identify the suspect, and shortly thereafter, the suspect was located and arrested. Another subject was arrested for grand theft after they stole approximately $1,200 from their employer over the span of a few days to purchase narcotics. Another subject was arrested for grand theft after they stole approximately $920 in cash from the register at their place of employment. During a suspicious persons call at the 4 Points Hotel, a subject was located that had warrants for the following: attempted burglary conveyance unoccupied, another attempted burglary conveyance unoccupied, another attempted burglary conveyance unoccupied, false owner into for pawn items, dealing in stolen grand theft vehicle. We also made several more grand theft motor vehicle arrests due to license plate reader hits. Since the last commission meeting, our crime suppression team has made numerous arrests to combat violent crime. One of the most notable arrests occurred when we received a call in reference to a possible burglary in progress. While on scene, detectives contacted a subject hiding in the bushes in front of a residence. A witness advised that the subject was trying to break into the residence. During the course of the investigation, it was determined that the subject had an active warrant for his arrest. Due to the good Samaritan and witness, a quick response by our deputies, the subject was apprehended before the crime was committed. Our crime suppression team also executed a search warrant on the residence of a convicted felon with a lengthy violent past who was selling cocaine and other narcotics. During the investigation, various amounts of narcotics were recovered, along with a Smith & Wesson semi-automatic firearm and a couple hundred rounds of ammo. One of our midnight received a license plate reader hit for a felony vehicle wanted for a homicide out of Dade County. We followed the vehicle down to Miami Gardens, where the suspect was taken into custody and turned over to the City of Miami detectives. Our motor unit continued with school zone enforcement due to the rise of student enrollment. Motor unit also had the SROs at Olson Middle, Dania Beach Elementary, and Collins Elementary assist with traffic enforcement in front of their respective schools. The speed trailer was placed on Southwest 53rd Quarter in reference to a speed complaint between North Park Road and Southwest 31st Ave. Traffic enforcement was also conducted in the area. The speed trailer was recently placed on Southeast 1st Ave, just south of Dania Beach Boulevard, due to a speeding complaint. The motor unit and road patrol will continue to monitor the speed on Southeast 5th Ave with enforcement checks. I give a brief update on what our homeless outreach team has done over the past couple weeks. The area of Southwest 4th Avenue between Dixie Highway and Sheridan Street has been the subject of several complaints from residents. The homeless are living in the brush and leaving trash. The homeless were removed, and with the help of Dania Beach Public Works, a majority of the brush was cut and any trash left behind was disposed of. In reference to a homeless complaint at 220 Southwest 16th Street, hourly checks were conducted by Deputy Hatfield, Deputy Spicer, and the midnight shift until the subject was located. The subjects were trespassed and they left the area. We have been conducting hourly checks of 21 Northwest 1st Ave, our post office, 1554 South Federal Highway, the 7-Eleven, and 402 East Dania Beach Boulevard, which is the bus bench area, to ensure the locations are clear of anybody loitering. As for the beach, we continue to hold roll calls down there, and we will continue our bicycle patrols during peak hours. That completes my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis?
What are the hours considered for the beach that you're patrolling?
Ma'am, can you repeat? It was breaking up.
I'm sorry. What are the peak hours for the beach that you're patrolling? During what time?
We usually, well, we hold roll calls at between, it's going to be 6 a.m. and then 6 p.m. is the shift changes. And then we've been having patrols on the weekends.
And are you enforcing any of the ordinances that you see that are broken at that time? Or are you just looking specifically for the radar ordinance?
If we observe any violations, we address them immediately.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Commissioner Llewellyn?
Hi, thank you, Mayor. Chief Marks, I have a question. I understand also there was an issue with somebody passing bad bills, trying to pay for something with counterfeit money at one of the local establishments. And I was just wondering if we've seen any sort of an increase with that.
No, there has been quite a bit of like credit card fraud, people using other people's credit cards and whatnot, but that's a trend going on everywhere.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
That it? All right. Thank you, Captain Marks.
Thanks.
Chief Pelissar, you're up next. Oh, look at you. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Manager, City Commission, and our fine citizens of Dania Beach. I want to start off right where I left off last month, letting you know about our nursing homes. We've checked on everyone consistently, and at this point, every out of the 9 nursing homes in Dania Beach and ALFs, they've all received their first shot. Most of them have received their second shot. If not, they were scheduled to receive it either today or by the 11th. And out of all those people, there's only 15 residents in our largest nursing home at Cross Point Care Center that declined the shot, but now they're reconsidering. So I have sent all this information to the Department of Health so that they can follow up with the people that want those shots. And there was one nursing home that had one person that qualifies, and we're trying to get them, even though she did not meet the age or threshold. We're trying to get them to get the Department of Health to reschedule that one person. So other than that, we're doing very good in keeping our senior safe in the nursing home and are vulnerable in the nursing home. That being said, over the last month, we've had 2 Dania Beach original firefighters retired. Jerome Snell, he had over 33 years of service with Dania, and Chris Chandler, also with 32 years of service. And next week, on February 12th, Chief Bruce Caruso, which many of you know because he's a Dania resident, he will complete 38 years and 7 months. He wanted to make sure I said the 7 months of service to our community. All I could say about these 3 individuals are class acts. They started in Dania and they were promoted out of Dania after we merged, but they love the city. They love the citizens, and Jerome and both Bruce Caruso were residents of Dania Beach. Jerome grew up in Dania Beach, and his family, the Snells, still live in Dania Beach. So I'm very proud of them for their accomplishments, and that's all I have for tonight.
That's awesome. If you all do anything for them, please let us know. We'd love to be able to, get some warm regards and just show our support, because that is an amazing feat to go from Dania Beach really to, just to be able to be here in the city for that amount of time is just outstanding.
Right, because of COVID, we weren't able to do anything for Jerome and Chris. But we are going to try to do a drive-by for Caruso. I'll get you that information.
Okay, thank you so much. Look at this. Now, consent agenda. Do we have any pulls? Have a motion?
Make a motion, Mayor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, public hearings, 9.1. Tom, you're muted. Hold on.
Sorry, thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. 9.1, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, repealing ordinance 2004-019, which is codified as section 2-5 of the Code of Ordinances entitled Adoption of Civil Service Rules, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, further providing for an effective date, the second and final reading, sponsored by Human Resources.
Thank you, Tom. This is a public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against this? Have a motion?
Make a motion, Mayor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? 9.2.
An ordinance of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 2 entitled Administration to amend Section 2-1.2 entitled Reserve to define the term chambers for purposes of City Commission meetings, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, further providing for an effective date, second reading of this ordinance.
And this is a public meeting. Anyone to speak for or against this item?
Move the item.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All. Yes.
All right, 9.3.
Is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 13 entitled Health and Sanitation to create Section 13-11 entitled Virtual Public Meetings, authorizing the city manager to make provisions for public meetings by use of communication media technology and for attendance by use of such technology by elected and appointed officials during periods when the city manager determines and declares a local public health emergency or other circumstances in which the City Commission determines it is necessary to protect the health and safety of city officials, city staff, and the public for the duration of the declared public emergency, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, further providing for an effective date, second reading of this ordinance.
Tom, may I ask you a quick question? I'm sorry, I just interrupted you, Mayor.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask Tom the question. Do you have any input, any idea, anything about when they're going to, I forget what words I'm kind of, like we say that we have to go back and do the in-person meetings?
Commissioner, that actually happened about 2.5 months ago when the governor decided not to extend the ability of cities and counties to continue meetings.
And we did the ordinance, okay.
And we did an emergency ordinance. And now this is to codify in our code that if we have something similar to what we're going through now, the manager, with your permission, will be able to say, we're going to use this again. There is a small risk that we'll get somebody from the state to say, you can't do this any longer. But I can assure you that we're one of the first cities to have done this to protect you as well as the public. And other cities have taken our lead as well. So we're going to stick with this unless we're told we can't.
Got it. Thank you for reminding me. I didn't know if you were having more discussion.
No, this is a public meeting. Anyone here to speak for or against this?
Move the item.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? 9:37 on discussion and possible action. Lord Jesus. Discussing and possible action. Exploring mobility partnerships for Dania Beach. I put this on the agenda because I've been having some discussions with the city manager and some community partners that have some ideas in mind of different mobility means and transportation means for our city that could be a great partnership with us. We still have to look through some stuff. I know we had the mobility study that we're waiting to come back, but I don't want opportunities to be able to pass us by. So I wanted to get consensus to see if you all would be in favor of different partnerships. Obviously, that we would have to come for approval with you all, but something similar to like a trolley system that would be free to our residents. We would work out the logistics with staff and the developers or the private, business stakeholders here in our city, but that could possibly be a revenue share type of program, something that would potentially have, I would assume it would have our logo on it as well. It will help us brand the city and get more people out of their cars and onto different means of transportation so we can kind of fight the traffic and calm some traffic and just get people out and about at our various locations so they can patronize our area. So I didn't know what you all thought about that, if it's something worth exploring, if you're okay with it, if I can move forward with it and bring you back something more official. Commissioner Llewellyn.
I would just like to see what the outcome of the mobility study is first, because there may be suggestions that come from that as far as which route we really need to take. And I'd hate to have you or anybody spend time working on something that ends up not being something that's really recommended in the long run.
Well, yes, that's why I said we're waiting for the mobility study, because it's going to go hand in hand with the mobility study. So when you get that public input for where the route should take and where they should go, we will be getting that information from the mobility study. So we're working hand in hand with the city manager, the mobility study, and all that. That was it?
That's it.
Okay, Commissioner Davis.
Well, I am in favor of it. It's actually something that I did mention during my individual meeting with the mobility study. So I was very interested in having trolleys. I've seen them in other cities like North Miami Beach. I've seen them down in Coral Gables. It is the way of the future, I believe, to get people to go to different destinations without using as many cars. And I believe this is the same company that Hollywood is working with. So there's maybe some potential for us to partner with them in some way. So this is something that, you know, I suggested or was on the same lines of thinking of when I had the individual mobility study. So I'm in support of something like that.
Okay, awesome. We haven't, I'm not sure if they have them in other cities yet from this. This person actually, or this development actually coming from a private type of development that just mentioned that they wanted to have something like that for the development. And I was like, well, let's partner with the city and, you know, share the cost. And how awesome would it be for us to like not pay half the cost for us to do it, you know, just as the city, but to share that cost with someone else that already wanted to add that to whatever they're doing. So I think, you know, it is the way. It's everywhere. It's getting people out. It's mending communities. It's bringing people together. It's tourism. It's everything. So thank you for your support. And city manager, we'll get back with the developers and the business owners and see how we can make this happen with their mobility study.
If I may, through the mayor, yeah, very, very important as we move forward with all these master plans. The mobility study is going to give us a really good outlook. And I think to be able to move people around, like the mayor says, in a safe and inviting environment with Wi-Fi is definitely the way to go. So any type of amendment or any type of way that we can get, you know, private partnerships weaved into the overall mobility study, I think it's a win-win, especially when we can augment or expand something that we're doing it and make it better and having a greater reach.
Absolutely. Thank you. So item 10.2, a resolution. Tom, you want to read it?
Yes, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, specifically recognizing Juneteenth as a city holiday, which is celebrated on June 19th annually, providing for conflicts, further providing for an effective date. Mayor, there's a companion proclamation as well. I don't know if you or someone from the commission wants to read this, but it certainly blends into the idea of the holiday and explains the holiday, or we could just, if you adopt the resolution, it incorporates the proclamation by reference. It's your call.
Okay. Where's the proclamation? I only saw the resolution.
On the back of the resolution.
Did it? Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Since it's your item, Commissioner Llewellyn, do you want to read it?
Sure.
I have it. Okay, go ahead.
I think, because I think there was one done last year as well, so I think this is similar to it. Anyway, sure. Okay. From the Office of the Mayor, City of Dania Beach, Florida. Whereas President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1, 1863, declaring the slaves in Confederate territory free, paving the way for the passing of the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which formally abolished slavery in the United States of America. And whereas communications about the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation were delayed by some 2.5 years to June 19, 1865, in reaching authorities and African Americans in the South and Southwestern United States. And whereas Emancipation Day observations are held on different days in different states in the South and Southwest and in other parts of the nation. And whereas Juneteenth is also known as Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, Liberation Day, and Emancipation Day. Ultimately, it is a holiday celebrating the emancipation of those who had been enslaved in the United States. And whereas June 19th has a special meaning to African Americans and is called Juneteenth, combining the words June and 19th, and has been celebrated by the African American community for over 150 years. And whereas Americans of all colors, creeds, cultures, religions, and countries of origin share in a common love and respect for freedom, as well as a determination to protect their right to freedom through democratic institutions by which the tenets of freedom are guaranteed and protected, and the Juneteenth Independence Day, along with the 4th of July Independence Day, completes the America's Independence Day observances. He often repeated proverb, until all are free, none are free. It is appropriate to highlight the significance of the end of the era of slavery in the United States and the celebration of freedom for all. And whereas the city of Dania Beach celebrates Juneteenth as a recognized city holiday for its residents and employees, and as it may also be provided under law, now therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission, on behalf of the mayor, we urge all citizens to become more aware of the significance of the celebration in African American history and in the heritage of our nation and city. And just to add on, this is a paid holiday, correct, for individuals who are non-union employees, although it's something I think that we could include as part of our bargaining in the future for union employees. And also, it's not just about recognizing the holiday, but we want to try to do some actual educational and cultural celebrations as well through the city. I know I have spoken with our city manager about this and getting some ideas about some things that could be done, and obviously encourage everybody to share their thoughts on it and try to come up with some really interesting ideas. I know at the last meeting, Mayor, you talked about some ideas that you had as well. I think that would be great if we could try to all put in a couple of ideas that we have and see what sort of celebrations we can do with our residents.
Okay, thank you. Well, Tom, do we need, well, it's a resolution. Do we have a motion in a second for this?
I'll move the item.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Next is the RFP for food trucks for the beach and parks and city facilities. City Manager Garcia.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Many times, oftentimes, all of you come and meet with me about some really great ideas, further enhancing how good we are as a team. A couple of weeks ago, I met with Commissioner Odman, and she talked to me about, hey, how about some food trucks in the beach? And, and I thought about, God, we're going to start ramping up some really great activities and programs in the park. And then I spoke to Commissioner Llewellyn and I spoke to Commissioner Davis. And now I see these young ladies that brought in some additional language. And my recommendation would be, based on the conversation that I've also had with legal, to put a request for proposals out there. And in that request for proposals, to include language such as local vendors, diversity in food, to really connect with all the cultures that we have here in Dania Beach, and additional, to add to that language to have affordable options or snacks for our youth that go to the beach or come to a special event in the park. So basically what I need is consensus to move forward to the next step and get that RFP out there.
Do we have any discussion from the board? No?
Go for it.
Commissioner Day?
Favor of it, yeah.
All right, so there you go. And the last discussion item, Tom, the lawsuit involving Dania Highway or the casino at Dania Beach.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I sent to you, I'm sorry they were so long, but they were important that you had the background from both the defense attorneys that we've been using for years and a memo that I prepared to accompany that about the case called Citizens for Responsible Development versus the city, and we know it as the highlight litigation. Just a quick summary, this has been pending since 2011 when the commission first approved Highlight to be revamped and remodeled as you see it today. We're not really clear, and we've tried to find out, but the courts will not let us find out who is seeking to do this, which is a number of different legal relief avenues to try to basically make the highlight go away. So we have our suspicions. I don't want to talk about them publicly. And I did mention at the conclusion of my memo that if you wish, under the Sunshine Law, we could convene an attorney-client session where myself and the defense attorneys are present. You are able to talk freely among yourselves and the attorney about the lawsuit. And you're confined to talking about either settlement discussions, which we've exhausted. We've tried mediation twice, nothing has worked. It's been very, very difficult to deal with the other side, or the litigation strategies. We are, however, so close to going to trial. It's called a bench trial or a trial in front of a judge. That I'm not sure that really has any value to you, but if you wish to have that, we can do that. If there's a consensus to do that, I would need to announce it tonight that I would be calling for that. But at this point, if you had an opportunity to read the memos, I think you know where I am. It is a matter of money. We've exhausted our insurance several years ago of $100,000. We, at one point, when Magic City Casinos was a partner of the Argentinian people who owned the organization, they were there for several years. I persuaded them that, look, this is really your lawsuit. You need to help fund our costs. And they were kind enough to do that for about 3 years. That saved us a lot of money, probably about $70,000 in just the cost of defending it over that period of time. When the new people came back, the actual owners from the Argentinians, they had their own difficulties in defending the lawsuit and no longer decided to contribute to our defense. So we've been paying it. I've been able to cover it under my budget up until now. The numbers you see in here talks about, I just paid a bill for $20,000 to our land use expert. This is actually an expert we use to help develop our own land development code. So she and her group are extremely important in defending what the city has done so far. We anticipate it might be another $20,000 going to a 4-day trial before the judge, as well as about another $10,000 for the law firm to get ready for what are called motions for summary judgment. Ms. Llewellyn knows what those mean, but that briefly means that all the parties, the DEC, which runs the entertainment center, Broward County is also named in the suit, and the three of us, everybody, and plus the thing, are all going to try to persuade the judge, you should rule for us. We don't need a trial. There's nothing to argue about on the facts. Here's what the law is. And each party has a full day coming up on the 15th to try to persuade the judge, rule in our favor. We're pretty much aligned, of course, with Broward County DEC to seek a ruling that would be in favor for us versus, of course, these people, whoever they are, who have filed the lawsuit. I anticipate it's going to go to a trial. It'll probably be at least a 4-day trial, which is extremely expensive, as Ms. Llewellyn can tell you. And that alone is somewhere between another $35,000 and $40,000 for the lawyers. So that's where I'm here. That's a minimum of $70,000 coming up in the next month, which I've got to bring it to you. I have no place else to go. I've exhausted everything we can with money that I can move around for legal expenses, and I would need to have funding available to pay those bills.
Have you gotten with the city manager and the finance director to see what our best options are to facilitate the monies?
I'm pretty sure that'll be left to Frank. It's probably from the unreserves, or whatever that reserve account is called.
Okay. If we can bring us back a funding source, or I don't know if
Frank is here, I'm sure he could tell us.
Frank?
Good evening.
Hi, Frank. Good
Hello.
evening.
Yeah, I've been in good evening to the mayor, commissioners, and to all of our officials on board here tonight. I've been in discussion with City Attorney Ansbro about this the past few weeks, and we really have been moving money around and trying to cover these bills. We were doing it at the end of last year. We're doing it again this year already. And I recommended to him that, yeah, we obtain funding through the city commission. I would recommend that we just do an appropriation from city reserves for an amount that you feel comfortable with, up to the 70 if you want to go a little higher, just to give some cushion for another couple of months after that. And then if that funding does get exhausted, city attorney can come back at a later date. If we don't spend all the money, then the money will just be refunded back to fund balance. It won't be repurposed for any other use.
Okay. Do we have any discussion or issues with this, Commissioner Llewellyn?
I have a question for Tom. I know you said that we've exhausted the insurance, but the insurance isn't that more for payment if there's a verdict, or is that for defense costs as well? Because I thought defense costs you didn't have a limit on them, but is that?
The lawsuit doesn't have anything to do with damages. It has to do with the approvals the city gave years ago to allow this to be renovated. So the insurance was to cover all the costs associated with the legal defense. That was where all that money went to. The firm, by the way, is a wonderful firm. I recommend them for almost everything that we do because I have a great relationship with them. They write very, very well. I have a great relationship with the judges, and we had a good fortune to have them help us out. That's where the money went, though. It was law defense.
I know I have a case where they represent a co-defendant in a case that I'm in. So, all right. I just was wondering because I didn't realize that there was a cap as far as defense costs. So that's all.
All right. Well, Tom, anything else you need from us? I think that we're all okay with it. Is
No,
anyone with moving forward?
Frank, you need a motion or a consensus? What do you need to?
Either or and an amount, please.
I would recommend that you probably at least authorize a ceiling of 80,000. I'm hoping we stay under 70 or under is the plan. I know that's a massive amount of money for us. You have to bear in mind, I've been doing this with you for a long time. We've never, ever had a suit of this magnitude, but this has gone through 5 Broward County Circuit judges. They've done, Commissioner Llewellyn recognizes 4 different amended complaints, depositions, interrogatories, admissions. It's gone on and on. It's been extremely difficult to deal with. Mediation, after a full day with one of the top mediators in South Florida, came to what's called an impasse, basically a draw. You could not reason with the other side. I can't talk about details of it because you're not allowed to, but I can talk to anyone who wants to ever hear about it because it's an interesting story. But we tried mediation. I even went myself with the prime litigator about 3 years ago to meet with the prime attorney for the law firm. He chose not to meet with me, so we walked out of the room. We've tried to mediate with him, try to get settled. Frank has urged this all the time, so is the manager. Even the city clerk has said, why can't we get this wrapped up? That's something I wish I understood. Very, very difficult people to deal with. So that's all I need is a motion to approve the money.
We have a motion to approve not to exceed $80,000.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Thanks very much. And again, if any of you do have questions about it or more details, I'm certainly willing to explain it to you, but preferably one-on-one. Yes. Well,
And I just want to make one comment. I did look up who the judge was on this case, and I will tell you that he runs a very efficient courtroom. So I am hopeful that you won't need the full $80,000. I suspect he will make sure that this gets done quickly and gets the trial handled quickly.
yeah, I think I've also heard very good things about him. I did not recognize his name, but there's very good rapport with him, with our defense counsel, and his reputation.
He's new to the civil bench, but he's very efficient.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Commissioner comments? Commissioner Davis?
Not really. Just want to thank the Parks director and the team for bringing the youth out tonight. That was a great, wonderful highlight for the commission meeting today. So just thank you for that. I hope we continue to inspire our youth and wanting to be into politics. Thank you.
Absolutely. Commissioner Llewellyn?
Yeah, just one thing briefly. I just wanted to kind of give everybody an update since I'm on the CARES Act task force through the Broward League of Cities. We are still meeting. We are still meeting with the county. For those who do not know, the CARES Act funding deadline has been extended through the end of this year. We originally were supposed to have our accounting and use the money by a certain date before the end of 2020, which was done. A number of cities actually had to send money back because they did not use it all. And in fact, the county did not spend all of their money for rental assistance or small business assistance either. But regardless of that, we are currently, as a task force group elected from several cities within the county, we are continuing to meet with the county commissioners and discussing ways that we could potentially get additional funds back into our individual cities and potentially expand the items that we could allot the money to. Part of the problem was we had to lock ourselves in fairly early on in order to get this approved to very specific categories. And that is part of that's required by the CARES Act, but part of that was also just so that we could try to ensure that we were getting whatever we could from this large pot of money that was there. And we were successful in getting a significant amount of money for each city. But we are trying to look at it now and see if there are some other ways that we might be able to get some additional funds to us and be able to use it for some additional things that would still fall under care, what's required, but might be some expanded areas. So I'll keep you posted as things go on with this. I know we have a meeting this week with one of the commissioners, and I suspect that we'll have some others set up in the coming. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hartman.
No, I have no comments.
Vice Mayor?
I'm good tonight. Thank you, Mayor. I enjoyed the meeting.
All right. Just want to remind everyone about the Bso Food Giveaway. That's tomorrow, I think at 12 o'clock. I have the flyer. At Island Joe's Cafe, I didn't want to mispronounce that. 4201 Ravenswood Road, Dania Beach, Florida, 33312. 1,000 hot meals. Very huge shout out and a huge thanks to our BSO for facilitating this and securing the sponsorship with the Miami Dolphins to make this happen. I too am very excited for the Youth Advisory Council. I want to see them in blazers with what I really would like for them to do is brand the Youth Advisory Council like the YAC. Other cities have it and they have their blazers. And when they go to Tallahassee or when they go to do legislation, they bring some of them along with them. I know that through the Mayor's Conference, there have been some opportunities for some of the youth. I see you, Eric. For some of the youth to go to some of those conferences. And so I was very impressed with those two ladies. And I definitely don't want to just keep it there locally because I believe as comfortable as they were speaking in front of us and telling us what they want and how they wanted it, that there is a larger table for them to be present at. So Eric, did you have anything to add to that? Oh, you already have shirts probably, huh? Wait, let me try to unmute you. Are you unmuted? Unmute yourself.
Unmute.
There you go.
Yes, Mayor. We have jackets in the board. We're ordering jackets, and these kids are actually designing their logo. So all those things are in the works. So we'll bring that to you guys. So we have blazers coming so that they'll be professional when they go to the Capitol. Some of the field trips will be to the Capitol. We're gonna do college tours. So those college tours, they're gonna represent Dania Beach with the logo and then the nice jackets and nice polo shirts. So those things are already in the works.
All right. Every time I have an idea, he's like, "We're already doing it." Awesome. That is awesome and amazing. And with that, I think that is it. We'll go to appointments. I'll tell you what, we received so many of the leads. I didn't choose any. I wanted you all to choose them all first because I was like, we're all gonna have the same people down. So go ahead, Vice Mayor. He said he's jumping.
You're right, because I'm calling right off the book.
Oh, Mayor, the City Clerk Schneider here. There's a matter that has come up before you get to your appointments on the agenda, if I may. The the Broward League of Cities has requested one of you to represent the Broward County Solid Waste MOU group, who the city's representative used to be Commissioner Harris. And so now they are seeking a replacement. So if you would like to decide among yourselves who would like to serve on
What
this.
board is this, the Solid Waste Board?
It's the Solid Waste Memorandum of Understanding group. That's really all I know. Candido can add information if you need.
I just want, how often do they meet?
They meet every other month. It's the Solid Waste Working Group. They used to be, prior to the pandemic, they were meeting in different cities, Sunrise, Coconut Creek. Now they're doing it through Zoom. We do have a city team member, Corey Taylor, that represents the city staff, and they're requesting an elected official to represent the commission as well.
Okay.
The meetings are usually 2 hours long, and again,
How many hours?
2 hours.
2 hours. I thought you said 4.
They working meetings, because obviously I go as, you know, as the city person that goes to the Broward League meetings, and that's a big part of our meeting is they usually Beam Fur will update us on what came about from the most recent working meeting. So it's really just heads up to any of you who may be interested. It's not really a passive meeting. It really is a working meeting. So whoever has.
What time of day do they meet, Candida?
I don't have the exact day. Last time they met was November 16th. So they're starting over again. They do meet during the weekdays. Usually it's in the morning from 9 to 11.
Oh, okay.
9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
All right, do we have any takers?
I volunteer.
All right, Joyce.
Commissioner Davis, do we have a, we don't need a motion. We don't need a motion in a second for that, do we? We'll
No,
do
you can do it when, Mayor, you can make the motion at the very end of all the appointments. That'll work.
Wait, Tom, since we're on Broward League items, and again, I'm so sorry because I feel like you answered me. I lost my alternate. Are we allowed to get a new alternate?
There should be a second alternate.
My second alternate,
was it?
I think it was. I want to say my second alternate was Lori Llewellyn. Before it was Chicky Brand Marty, then Lori Llewellyn.
I believe that's correct. I would have to confirm that though.
I thought, I'm sorry.
Up Lori Llewellyn to first alternate, or does all this require a vote?
I believe that the purpose of the second alternate is if the first alternate cannot serve or attend, and so therefore you're good. If Commissioner Llewellyn is the second alternate, then she can step in your absence.
All right.
So does she need another alternate for the second alternate now, since Commissioner Llewellyn is now the first alternate?
Well, you could do that, but come about April, I believe it is, the BLC will send out an invitation that I will put on the agenda, and then you'll decide on your main commission representative and then the 2 alternates. But in the meantime, if you want to appoint a second alternate, that will work as well.
We can wait. I think we can wait. I don't think it's going to be too much.
That's fine. In fact, it's my fault. I should have. I had to miss my first meeting, and I was saying, "Oh no, I don't have Commissioner Brandon Marty," and I should have. It was my fault for not having you get in touch with Commissioner Llewellyn. So, okay, thank you.
What about the MPO?
Can I ask that?
I was just going to bring that up, Mayor. I received an email that Commissioner Harris is no longer on the MPO, and that we would need an MPO representative. I don't have the details of how often they meet, but that we do need to fill that with an elected official.
Yeah, Commissioner Llewellyn?
I'd like to volunteer for that because when they do go back to live meetings, the office is literally like right down the street from my office.
Okay, it's not going to interfere because
They meet once a month and it's on Thursdays, and I can block it on my calendar.
Okay, anyone have any issues with that?
Nope.
All right. Do they need an alternate?
No.
I don't remember if he had an alternate or not. I know he was always there. So.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not able to make it, could you select one of us to be able to go and as your proxy? Okay, awesome. All right, Vice Mayor, go ahead with your appointments that you're stealing from all of us, our list.
All right. Well, I'm just stealing them off the list. I'm going right down the line. On the appointments for the Airport Advisory Board, Randy Wright. Liddicky. Okay. All right. That's the privilege of being the vice mayor, Joyce.
Commissioner Davis.
Check him.
Whatever. Henrietta is on for the Creative Arts Councils. She's already on there. Okay. Bonnie Carlton for the Education Board. Green Advisory Board, Pat Chuckerman. The Marine Advisory Board, 12.6. Chris Burrell and Tom Angelos. For the Parks and Recreation Board, Christine LaBarca. And I had one more here. Hang on a second. Rich Aubie.
For what?
I'm done.
So you went down all of them. Okay. Who's next?
I have mine.
Go ahead, Commissioner Admin.
I have 2 appointments for the airport, I believe. Char Tanner and Dolores Boji for Green Advisory Board. Charlene Hogan. For Parks and Recreation, I have 2 appointments. Sheila McCrae and Marcus Lemaine. These were all submissions.
Were you finished, Commissioner Hyman?
I'm sorry. Yes, that's it. I should have filled all my appointments.
Okay, Commissioner Llewellyn.
Okay, I don't have that many. But for airport advisory, I'm going to do Dean Harley and Keith Roberts for my prior appointments. For Parks and Rec, I only have one because Commissioner Ottoman stole one of mine. But I will put Pilar Rodriguez. And I'll have another one for you next time. And then I was going to ask for planning and zoning for alternates. I was going to suggest keeping Charlotte Sloboda on as one of our alternates. And then also suggest Charlene Tanner as the other alternate. But if somebody else wants to suggest somebody, I'm happy to hear.
Anyone? I don't know if I agree with those planning and zoning alternates just off the top of my head, but I don't have anybody tonight as an alternate. Commissioner Davis.
I'll have to get back with you guys next time. We'll fill them in. You guys got me this time. I'm coming back strong in 2 weeks.
Look, me too. You're not by yourself. Me too. Tom, could you do me a favor, Tom Schneider? Could you send us, if anyone is left from the list, could you send them to Commissioner Davis and myself?
You're probably speaking of the board interest forms that you received.
Yes.
Yeah, I can check off who was taken and who's still.
Yeah. Just send them to me and Commissioner Davis, since we had the crumbs at the bottom.
Okay.
So, all right.
Mayor, may I ask a question of Vice Mayor Salvino?
Yes.
I might have missed. Vice Mayor, did you have 2 appointments to the Airport Advisory Board or just 1?
2.
And
Gary Ludicky and Randy Wright.
Who was the first one?
Gary Ludicky. Say his name.
Very good. I got it. Thank you.
All right. Do we have a motion and a second? I want to hold off on maybe Commissioner Welling. Could you choose one of them as an alternate and let me bring back another one, because I had someone that was interested in being on a P&Z as well.
Sure. I'll keep Charlotte for the time being.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion and a second to approve the appointments?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Awesome. City Manager, close us out.
Yes, Madam Manager. So we'll put it back out again in social media, seeking volunteers to serve on these boards. So we'll put it out there again. Very exciting. At 7 a.m., I received a call this morning from one of our residents that it's official, and the demolition has finally commenced at Olson Middle School. This has been a total team effort, and I know all of you are very happy to hear that. So we're going to move forward. Waiting to hear from Superintendent Runcie to meet with them to see, what are their needs and how possibly we can partner as we're going to start talking about a Parks Master Plan. This may be a good opportunity. So I'll keep you all up to date in regards to that meeting. Very, very exciting. With March 6th as the next day you will meet for strategic planning. I put out some dates because I want to have a brief workshop with you all, no more than 2 hours, to discuss our next steps with the West Wing, 2,500 feet of usable space. It is not ADA. We have the architect to make a presentation to, give you a cost estimate. So I am giving you some dates to see what's available. If you could take out your schedules. Thursday, February 11th, Thursday, February the 18th, or Tuesday, February 23rd from 4 to 6 p.m. And this will be the West Wing workshop for ADA and usage.
February 18th, we already have the BSO substation.
Okay. So February the 11th or Tuesday, February 23rd. Tuesday, February 23rd, we do not have CRA. So we could do like a 4 to 6, if that's good for you all. I'm just trying to get these workshops out of the way. And the West Wing is going to be really exciting, and it won't take a lot of time.
Can we look at March? The 11th is 2 days from now. I'm not available then.
Okay. And the 23rd, I can always come back with more dates. I just wanted to get these off the list of things to do.
I understand.
No worries. So if you guys are not good on the 23rd, which is a Tuesday from 4 to 6.
I'm good. I can do the 23rd.
I can do the 23rd.
I can make it work.
Y'all gonna put the pressure on me. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Those are just very long days. These days are
I know, right? It just makes it a little miserable because it makes the night so long, but at least we knock it out all at once.
Does it have?
Well, as long as our meeting's not going to be a big meeting, that's all.
Well.
No.
You don't know that.
That can be controlled.
We could do a 4 to 5:30 and then give you guys an hour and a half break before your 7 o'clock meeting. The presentation from the architect's not going to take more than 10 minutes. So.
Can we do a 5 to 6:30 then?
Yes.
Because the 4 just drags it out,
Oh, you know what? Absolutely. Let's do 5 to 6:30.
All right.
5 to 6:30, February the 23rd on Tuesday. That's what we'll do. And then come the first meeting of March, I'm going to come back with a couple of dates for the Parks Master Plan. That's going to be very exciting. And we're going to discuss our next steps. So already start thinking of some dates in March, and I'll come back with those dates for you. If there's any dates that you cannot just shoot them to me, and I won't include them. Let me close this. So I have submitted a letter to the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce that I've included there. I met with our finance director and legal. I think it's very important for us to know a little bit more about the chamber, how the money is spent, how we can help, how we can partner with the CRA and the chamber to really maximizing the investment, the return on that investment for the greater good of our cities and our businesses. So I've included that letter there for you. Based on our dialogue and unanimous support from you all, our strategic planning session will be taking place for key members, the senior members of our team, and that'll happen March 11th. So we're going to have a full day there. And as we move forward with the next steps with the Ocean Park RFP, we have received support not only from FAU, but now from FDOT for us to be able to procure the small piece of land that we need. And wanted to bring you up to speed and let you know that we are currently doing the appraisals for that for the piece of land, so we can move forward with the next step. Art in public places, the next step, and that is the one-on-one with the commissioners. Very, very important. And I've spoken to many of you about that. From the park benches that we can procure to climbing structures for youth, all this can have an element of art incorporated. We had 174 responses from our residents. So everybody's really excited about this art in public places, and we're going to have plenty of money to spend. So very excited about that. Make sure that you do have, yes, Commissioner?
Yes, I just wanted to know, because we did send out those applications about the art in public places, and I guess people who wanted to be involved with that. How do we let them know that they've been approved, not been approved? What is that process like for letting the residents who wanted to have a voice in that know that they can be involved?
Yes, so the next step now, we did have a survey, we did have public engagement, and that resulted in the community online survey that yielded 174 responses. So we did have the community engagement piece, and now we're just waiting for the next step. We're working with our partners in Broward County, the cultural board there, the cultural committee. So it's just very important that you all have your one-on-ones with, yes, Mayor?
Commissioner Davis, are you saying that to where maybe we can send them an email and say thank you, or, you know, we've heard your voice, or maybe put a post up, or were you?
I thought that there was something where they can be recommended to be on a committee or something in addition to the survey. So maybe I had that part wrong, but I remember there was some, you know, I know people reached out and said specifically that they wanted to be involved with it after the survey. So I don't know if it was just a survey and they got information, or if it was something where they would have input, you know, along the way, because that's what I kind of remembered. So I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, there is a committee that's being discussed that's going to most likely be part of this. When you have the meeting with, I can't remember her name, and Corinne and Eleanor, that's part of the discussion as well as to how that committee, what it will be, who it will be comprised of, how many residents it'll be comprised of, and how it's going to work. So whenever you have that meeting, you can put in your thoughts of what you think it should be, and then we're gonna, you know, get their recommendation of how we should move forward with it.
And that is correct. In addition to the online survey, correct. In addition to the online survey, there will be a committee, and like Commissioner Oddman says, once you have that one-on-one with the lady, her name escapes me also, and Corinne and Eleanor, you can have that discussion, but there will be a committee. You're correct. So we are also in a very critical piece of our mobility study, as the mayor discussed today, and we will be bringing an item forward no later than April to adopt another master plan And we'll have the presentation sometime within the next month or so. So very, very exciting for that. We are in phase 2 of a very successful I Love Local. All of you that participated, Mayor James, Commissioner Lou Ellen, Commissioner Odman did a fantastic job. And I know that both Vice Mayor Salvino and you, Commissioner Davis, will do great. I just wanted to get your approval if this is something that you want us to move forward with at this time. So I can reach out to Mr. Andrews. We have those monies in the budget that we moved forward from last year, or if you wanted to do it at a later time, I just wanted to put that out there, let you know that we're ready when you're ready to go.
Well, can't individuals do it whenever they want to do it?
Yes. This is just to get started. So you're right. You're absolutely right. I will have Mr. Andrews reach out to you, submit to me 2 or 3 of the places so we could, schedule the order, get the information out and get you ready. So whoever wants to start now can start now. I mean, I didn't want to roll it out now and then have some of you not be ready until June. So we could do it with social distancing. We could do it focusing on places that have outdoor eating, places that have really good deliveries, really good pickup. There's a way that we can make it happen. I just thought I love in February and Valentine's and love and loving our city and eating. So just wanted to put it out there for you all.
Thank you.
I will have Mr. Andrews reach out to you individually to schedule these. We are very excited. Thank you to Eric, to Anthony, the Parks team, Casey, that we were able to take her from Deerfield Beach, and she's now part of our team. We're going to be really augmenting our programming, diversifying our programming. We're going to be having a really, really fun exhibition softball game coming up February 20th at Frost Park. I look forward to planning something at CW in March and at PJ Millie in April, and really, getting excited about parks and activities and different programming. And last but not least, we will be bringing a presentation at the next meeting that encompasses the safety and the beautification of everything that we're going to be doing on our streets, on our beach, and in our parks. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
City Attorney?
Nothing to add. Thank you, Mayor.
City Clerk?
Upcoming meeting, regular City Commission meeting at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, February 23rd. That's all I have.
All right. Good night, everybody. Meeting adjourned.
Good night.